Hey everyone, let's wrap up December. This month I uploaded quite a few videos, 3 of which were not reviews. So the first one was the end of the year book tag, and I really enjoyed that one. It was fun to do. I also uploaded my 2019 reflections and 2020 life goals, and I really want to thank you for your support and sharing your thoughts on 2019 and 2020, and I hope we all get what we wish for. Something I didn't mention in the video is that I realized how my quarterly check-in videos really help me keep track of my goals and align and change habits to keep getting to the goals I wanted to get to. And I think I'm going to continue that next year. Also, I forgot to talk about my Skillshare goal, which I failed completely. I somehow can't make this a habit that I use Skillshare. A lot of it is that I don't think I'm good at using Skillshare. I can't make it work for me. I still have the account for 3 months, so maybe I will manage to use it more in the new year, but I don't think so. So that is something I really failed at. The last video I uploaded that were not a book review was my letter to December, and I want to thank you very much for all the support you gave me and the nice words, and that you always are so kind in watching and listening to me in those letters. Thank you very much. Okay, on to the books. That's why we're here. I read quite a lot in December, mostly due to a lot of off time. I had a week of vacation that I spent at home, but I did have extra time to read. Also, over the holidays, I wasn't working much and I wasn't doing anything. So I got a lot of extra reading done there. So let's look at the books. The first one being a reread, Soulless, a Manga. I really felt like something happy one day, so I just picked that up, and it's always a nice revisit of the story. I also read At the Existentialist Café finally, which I kind of liked and I didn't like. I uploaded a full video review for this, but mostly it didn't focus as much on the philosophy as I had thought it would, but more on the philosophers that were involved in the philosophy. For that part, I liked it, but for the philosophy, existentialism, and what it is, I didn't really like it because I didn't learn enough out of it, or I didn't understand enough about it from this book. Another physical book I read and reviewed is The Last Continent. This is the 22nd book in the Discworld series, or the 6th in the Rincewind books, and I enjoyed it immensely. I go into more detail why, but I also think you should know from the wrap-up that this isn't a good starter book for the series. But if you have read other books in the Rincewind stories and you enjoyed the Discworld novels, this is a wonderful book to go into. The last physical book I finished was Das größere Wunder, and I technically finished it this morning, which is the 1st of January, but I'm counting it to my December read because that's where I read most of it. And I didn't like it. This is a German book I got gifted 2 years ago maybe by a person who really enjoyed the book. And yeah, I think it read very fast, but mostly due to me having a lot of time and short chapters. The book is narrated in alternating chapters between the past and the present. The past tells us the story of the main character, Jonas, how he grew up and his life and everything, and the present is him on an expedition climbing Mount Everest. So we are alternating between the expedition and his life. I didn't really know anything going into this book, so I didn't really have any other expectations other than that my friend liked it and that it was about Mount Everest somewhere. And that part about Mount Everest is good, that it represents how an expedition to Mount Everest is nowadays, with all the ups and downs, the trash, the death, the struggles, all the things that are going on. So that part is good. Everything else, I didn't really like it. I don't understand why this book is so popular. What I read was a book about a young boy who grew up without boundaries, who could do whatever he wanted, didn't have any material needs ever. And when he became an adult, he really got access to the money himself. So he spends most of his adult life traveling and searching for happiness in a weird way, and he just buys whatever he sees and wants. Basically, he doesn't know the word, this doesn't work. He's never experienced anything that he couldn't get. And then of course it's also that he finds love, because that's sort of what he's looking for, is happiness, and is the thing that he always thinks to find. But even in that relationship, it feels very sidelined. Also, he's so egoistic and selfish. And then the heartbreak that automatically comes. Sorry if that's a spoiler. This book is bad. You shouldn't read it. But he basically doesn't accept anything. And the heartbreak is kind of feels like the first time he's been rejected. And he doesn't know how to deal with it. So basically, I read 500 something pages about a spoiled brat who doesn't know the word no. The rest of the books I listened to on audio. I listened to the first and the second book in the Interdependency series. I made a review about that, but I failed to really express what the books are about. The Interdependency is a collection of planets and habitats where humans live nowadays, and they are connected by the flow. So it's kind of like a river connecting everything. Let's leave it at that for simplicity's sake. In the Collapsing Empire, we get to know a lot of different characters and a lot of different places in the Interdependency. The whole place is governed by an emperor, and the last emperor just died and the new emperor was crowned. And there is some drama around that, some political things happening, but also a lot of getting to know the world. I didn't enjoy the first book as much as I did the second, Consuming Fire, because that took place more in one place. There was a lot more political drama going on, but I got to know the characters better and I understood the behind the scene things about the flow and everything else that was going on. So now I'm waiting for the third book, which doesn't come out till April, I think. And I don't know. I highly enjoyed the world setup and everything. It's a little bit more political than I genuinely enjoy, but it's a lot of fun to go into. I also listened to the first two books in the Witcher series, or rather the first two before the Witcher saga begins. I watched the Netflix show as it came out, and I was so intrigued and caught by the whole world and everything that I wanted more. So I listened to A Last Wish and Sword of Destiny, which basically sums up what the first season of The Witcher on Netflix is about. And I highly enjoyed that. The narration was done amazingly well, giving life to the characters, keeping the grumpy tone, atmosphere, and the moodiness of The Witcher, and also all the other characters. I liked the style of short story adventures, that you had an adventure where you got to know the Witcher in a situation, and then sometime later things are put together a little bit more, but it's mostly short stories of different adventures. And I enjoyed the fairy tale touch, I enjoyed the world building, I enjoyed the Witcher as a person, and his grumpy, moody honesty is just so much fun. I listened to The Journey of the Center to the Earth by Jules Verne, and I mainly listened to it because I wanted to listen to a classic and Tim Curry, and so I found this, and this was perfect match. I kind of knew the story, but I hadn't really read the book before, and I was surprised how much I enjoyed the narration and the writing style, but also how detailed and descriptive a lot of the things were that happened. Now, basically, you have people traveling to the center of the earth. We all know what this story is about, and the different parts that they go through and the relationship between the uncle and the nephew. I highly enjoyed it. I was surprised. I shouldn't be surprised, but it was the first book by Jules Verne I read, so going to continue that in the new year. The last audiobook was a DNF for me, and there's a video where I go into more detail, but this was Daisy Jones and the Six, which was super hyped on BookTube and everybody loved it. But what I also heard, everybody loved the audiobook more than the physical book. So I thought, let's get the audiobook. And it is well done, but that doesn't help the lacking story, the lacking interest and character depth. Daisy Jones and the Six pretends to be interviews about a fictional band and telling their story. And what I noticed is that the way it works with all these people interrupting each other and talking, it could be interesting if you liked any of the characters, but the side characters are so bland you could tell the story without them. I stopped halfway through, so take that into consideration. And the two main characters that the story evolves around, they're so stock figure-y and bland, that they really lack personality, and everything around just felt fake. And I was just wondering, why should I listen and spend my time on a fake band if I could do that for some band that I'm interested in? So I DNF'd. And that were all the books I read. I'm quite happy with the reading that I have done in December. I got through quite a lot of books that I've been meaning to get to. I discovered new things, and I also had a lot of fun, which is the main thing when it comes to reading, that you enjoy your time with the book and the reading time. So let me know in comments how your December was. Did you finish off the books that you had meant to finish off in 2019? Or are you, I don't know, excited about the new books that you can pick up in 2020? Let's talk in comments, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye.